Shalom and welcome to Yeshiva B'nai Noach. I'm Tom Averna, and this is lesson 9 for the Teach Yourself to Read Hebrew book. So we are almost done, 2 chapters to go. And as I mentioned before in chapter 8, these last 2 chapters are challenging because it really helps to have a grammar background with them. So I often bypass these 2 chapters in the live classes, but I thought we'd go through it. At least you'll have this background, this information to deal with as best you can. And we'll talk about in this lesson primarily we'll be looking at the Shavah. So let's get started. The vowels we've learned so far, we have the 2 ah sounds, kamatz and patak. We have the 2 e sounds, chirek and chirek yad. We have the 2 a sounds, tsere and tsere yad. We have the sound, segol. We have the o sound, cholem and cholem vav. And we have the u sound. We have the kibbutz and the shurech. The name of these, again, the names are not something you necessarily need to know. The vowel for this lesson, as they say here, is called the Shavah. Now, I am going to disagree with the book in this place, in this case. There are different views. I've found that most grammar books tend to say that the Shavah is not a vowel. It is not a vowel. It's a vowel placeholder, but it's not a vowel. Again, every consonant has to have a vowel underneath it, but some consonants won't take a vowel, a full vowel, and so the Shavah is put in its place. And we'll talk a little bit more about this as we look at syllables, but at any rate, the Shavah, it doesn't really matter which way you look at it. As far as these lessons are concerned, we'll see what the book has to say. But just keep in the back of your mind that technically the Shavah is not a vowel, and I'll explain a little bit more as we go along. But at any rate, it's the 2 dots, one on top of the other, and that is called a Shavah. The other thing your book talks about, the Teach Yourself to Read Hebrew book talks about, is the vocal Shavah. The vocal Shavah, they call it a short slurred sound, and that really doesn't tell you very much. I like this from another grammar book. They consider the Shavah as a short I, if. So it's just a vagam. Okay, very quick, very short I as in if. Okay, so I think that's easier to deal with if you think of it as that short I sound when you deal with the vocal Shavah. And of course, the silent Shavah has no sound, and it's always silent. The Shavah is always silent when it's at the end of the word. It's always vocal when it's at the beginning of the word. Those are the 2 major rules for the Shavah. And then it gets a little more complicated when the Shavah is somewhere besides the beginning or the end of the word. We'll look at that as we continue on. But you have the vocal Shavah and the silent Shavah. So getting back to your book now, the Shavah at the beginning of a word, always pronounced with a short slurred sound or an sound. The examples they give are lagoon and maroon. Okay, and again, when I say that the Shavah is not a vowel, it means it's not counted as part of a syllable. So remember I said that in Hebrew, if you count the number of vowels, it will tell you how many syllables are in a word. So here's the easiest way to look at this. Now your book says, no, you do count the Shavah as a syllable, you would count that as a vowel, so you would count 2 syllables in this word. So if you're saying lagoon, then you have 2 syllables. But as short as this sound is, there really isn't a la in there. It's a lagoon. So almost the L and the G go together with just a slight breath in between them, so that because you can't have two consonants directly attached to each other without some kind of break. Okay? So again, the grammar books that tell you that it is not a vowel would say that simply this is one syllable. Lagoon. Okay, there's no real break between the L and the G. Same here. Maroon, maroon. There almost is no sound between the M and the R. Maroon. Again, as we get through the book, and the book talks about dividing syllables, you might as well go with what the book tells you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But essentially, just recognize that you may just have one syllable here rather than none, which is why. Well, we'll deal with that later. But anyway, so let's go on from here. So read the following line aloud. Again, go ahead and practice these across. Stop the video, and then I'll read them across with you. Okay, so we have davar, we have katav, we have shema, we have machal, we have klal, and we have slach. Okay, so those are the words across there. If you need to, you can stop the video and look at it again, but otherwise, let's go on. So here's another practice sheet from another book, but we'll go use this across same way as always. Take your time, pronounce each of these as a vocal shava, so that would be a very short sound, sound, and then we'll come back. Go ahead and stop the video. Okay, let's take a look at what we've got here. So we've got ki, tsi, chi, ge, li, I, mi, di, zi, I, ti, ni, shi, ki, fi, vi, bi, yi, chi, mi, ti, pi, vi, hi, si, ti, and re. Okay, let's go ahead and stop the video if you need to. Spend some time with this, but otherwise we'll go on. Okay, some more practice putting some extra letters in here to make it a little more difficult. So go ahead and see what you can do on your own, and then we'll come back and do it together. Okay, so we have vikats, vikats. And then we have kikots, kikots. V'i, v'i. Mishal, mishal. Bechag, bechag. Lakash, lakash. Yemei, yemei. Vitof, vitof. Gevul, gevul. Yero, yero. Shechem, shechem. Gitzar, lekach, viram, becha. All right, so practice those if you need to. We'll go on. Again, now back to your book. The shava at the end of the word, is always silent. And when it's with this letter, which is, if you recall, this is the chaf sofit, the final chaf. You'll often see the Shava inside the final Chaf. It's silent, so it doesn't make any difference. When there's an kamatz vowel inside here, then you would pronounce the vowel. But right now, you just ignore the Shava when it's in the final form letter here of the Chaf. So this would be Bach. This would be Shot. Again, silent, so it just ends with that T at the end. Okay? And the following lines, we'll just read them together across here. So we have Lach, At, Charat, Elech, Mat, Mimech. Now, when the Shava is in the middle of a word, it gets a little more complicated. But the third rule, we said the first rule was when it's at the beginning of the word, it's always pronounced. Second rule, when it's at the end of the word, it's always pronounced. Now, if we have two Shavas in a row, this is also then a pretty standard rule here. Two Shavas in a row, the first one is always silent, and the second one is always vocal. Okay? So what makes sense here, if you think about it, is the first Shava is actually closing a syllable. So here we have Khan. Khan is the syllable. So if that syllable is closed there, then the next syllable has to start with some kind of sound. So Khan, Smate. Khan, Smate. So it's essentially the same rule. This Shava is at the beginning of this syllable, so it has to be vocal. This Shava is at the end of this syllable, so it has to be silent. So it goes back to the original two rules that we had. But again, if you have two Shavas in a row, the first one is going to be silent, the second one is going to be pronounced. So Khan, Smate. Khan, Smate. Okay? Do some more practicing. Go ahead and read the words here, and then we'll come back, read them together. Go ahead and stop the video. Okay, let's go ahead and read across. Now, for the sake of taking your time and reading it, this is where it is helpful to actually stop with this and consider this as one syllable. It's only helpful at the beginning when you're learning to read. So we'll do it that way as we read across. So we will take more time with this than we normally would. So in this case we have v ke tsef, v ke tsef, or v'ketzef, v'ketzef. Here we have ti da bear, ti da bear, ti da bear, ti da bear. Line 2 we have b na, bana, s tom, satom, re vi eat, revi'it, and toch, toch. Okay, line 3. Be got, begot. Ve ka yam, v'kayam. Be rov, berov. Cha se de cha, chasadecha, or chasdecha. And last line, be che bechem, actually. So this is a little more. We haven't really learned to put the what happens with the vowel here, the shava here. But at any rate, so this one would be silent. So bechem la, because essentially that's ending this syllable here. So if you're following the regular rules, if you're not seeing this as a vowel, then the actual would be one syllable. It would be bechem, bechem. Okay? And then la, bechem la. Le, va, v, cha. Le, va, v, cha. Melech, melech. Okay? And practice these on your own. Page 7071 from your book. Read the following lines aloud. In each word, the first shava is silent. The second shava is pronounced. So we have yish, pe, tu. Yish, pe, tu. Tim, tse, u. Tim, tse, u. Shiv, shiv, te, cha. Shiv, te, cha. Tiv, te, chu. Tiv, te, chu. Tish, me'u, and mish, pechot. Mish, pechot. Chas, de, cha. Chas, de, cha. And here we have same thing. Tish, meru. Tich, te, vi. Yiz, ke, ru. And yish, le, chu. Okay? And if you need to go over those again, we'll just continue on. So here's where there are some grammar rules that you would consider in this context of understanding whether the shava is vocal or silent. And as I say here, without an understanding of Hebrew grammar, it's difficult to know when a shava in the middle of a word is silent and when it's pronounced. So their suggestion, it's a good suggestion, is that you not pronounce a shava when it appears alone in the middle of a word, although this isn't always correct. So and again, especially if it's under the second letter in a word, it most likely is going to be ending the syllable before it. So the example they give is car, pool, concave. So it's just silent. You just end one syllable and begin the next syllable. Okay? So you definitely have, with the silent shavas, you would definitely have the number of syllables that you have vowels not counting the shava, which is, again, it's too confusing in my mind to think of this as a vowel. There's just two syllables here, con and cave. Okay. All right, so here each shava is a silent letter. And we're going to do, I think we're going to do these exercises a little differently than we have been. I'm just going to read them across, and then after I do, then you can stop the video and practice on your own. So start with line 1. Yiz kor, yizkor. Yich tov, yichtov. Yish mor, yishmor. Yif kod, yifkod. Yim loch, yimloch. Line 2. Dal ti, dalti. Dar ki, darki. Artsi, artsi. Ragli, ragli. sal, sal, e. Line 3, malche, malche, kan, fe, anshe, avde, chaste. So go ahead and stop the video, practice these on your own, and then continue on. So again, I'll read these through first and then have you practice on your own. Each Shiva in these lines must be pronounced with the I, the short I sound. Okay, line 1. Peri. Shmi, shmi. B'nei, b'nei. Lechi, lechi. B'li, b'li. Shvi, shvi. Line 2. Kedosh, kedosh. Melo, melo. Meloch, meloch. Shemor, shemor. Yesod, yesod. Line 3. Ve'or, ve'or. Ve'gad, ve'gad. Ve'dor, ve'dor. Ve'hu, ve'hu. Ve'zeh, ve'zeh. Ve'zot, ve'zot. Line 4. Gedula, gedula. Ketuba, ketuba. Kedusha, kedusha. And shavua, shavua. All right, so go ahead and stop the video. Practice on your own. And again, some words you might recognize. Ketubah being the marriage certificate that bride and groom has to sign. Okay, so go ahead and practice on your own. Come back when you're ready. Now here again, these are unusual vowels. They're called combination vowels. There's some other names for them grammatically, but a combination vowel is simply a vowel that has a shava in front of it. A shava in front of it. Essentially, the only thing you do is ignore the shava with these. There's one exception, which we'll see down here at the bottom. But in every other case, just pronounce the vowel that you recognize. Don't worry about the shava. It essentially shortens that vowel, but most people aren't going to hear the difference. So it just takes on the sound of the vowel itself. All right? So you essentially ignore the shava. So here you have ad, and here you have ad. Here you have and here you have as in bed. Ed, same thing. Now, this is the only difference, and it gets a little unusual or gets a little difficult. It doesn't happen a lot in Hebrew, but again, there are grammatical reasons why it happens, which we're not learning. But when the shava appears next to the vowel kamatz, the kamatz vowel, the pronunciation changes to O as in low. Okay, so rather than this becomes an O. So it will never be an when it's next to the shava. Okay, well, that rhymes. If you want to go ahead and patent that, that's good. It will never be an when it's next to the shava. It'll always be an O. Okay, so and there's some people that say, if you look real closely, although I can never see it, that actually the T is a little bit longer in the kamatz here, but again, Don't worry about it. But if you see the kamats next to the shava, it's never going to be an ah. It's always going to be the o. So here we have ode, ode. Same as if it looked like this. Ode, ode. Okay. So those are the combination vowels. We'll get a little opportunity to work with them in exercises, practice. But essentially, and there are, there are other vowels that you might see next to the shava. The rule is anytime there's a vowel next to a shava, just pronounce the vowel itself and ignore the shava, unless it's the kamats. Okay, unless it's the kamats. So here's some more practice exercises from another book. Again, I'll go through them. We'll take our time, and then you'll practice on your own. So here we have kodam, kodam, do mi, ho ri. I'm sorry, I think I said a H there. It's a CH. So this is chori, chori. Choli. Tsori. Oni. Kovel. Chorem. Oni. Roi. Le ma cho rat. Le ma cho rat. So le ma cho rat. Okay. Ma re do chai. And so here we have, again, there's a grammatical reason why this one is pronounced, but at any rate, so ma, normally it would be silent because it's next to, it's in the second letter, but so here we have ma, re, do, chai. Maradochai. Okay, last line. We have a ho lech. Aholech. Here we have ke fa olo. Kefaolo. And here we have ya o mod. Ya o mod. Okay, again, practice these on your own. We'll continue. Okay, back to your book now, page 72, as we continue practicing. And again, here we're mostly going to be dealing with regular vowels next to the shava. Ignore the shava, just read the vowels. I'll read them across, and then stop the video and practice on your own. So, adon. Ase. Adi. Hamon. Chanit. Hadas. Line 2. Edom. Emet. Elil. Enosh. Se. Line 3. O ni. Tsi po rim. Tziporim. Shibolim, Shibolim. Rachamim, Rachamim. Anashim, Anashim. Te'erov, Te'erov. Ani, Ani. All right, practice on your own. So here we'll practice with these words, but if you go to page 92, you'll see the translation of each of these words. So we'll go ahead and read them normally. I'd read across, but since they're numbered, we'll follow the numbers down here. So again, I'll read first and then stop the video and practice on your own. So here we have Shema, Shema. Yisrael, Israel, Israel. Here we have mezuzah, mezuzah. Menorah, menorah. Beracha, beracha. Tzedakah, tzedakah. Yerushalayim, Yerushalayim. Lechayim, Lechayim. Avraham, Avraham. Yitzchak, Yitzchak. Yaakov, Yaakov. Mitzvah, mitzvah. Simcha, simcha. Tefillah, tefillah. And Chanukah, Chanukah. Solving the question, by the way, of how to spell Chanukah. If you do this with a CH, A, one N, and then a U, and then a K-A-H. There's the spelling from the Hebrew letters directly. All right. Again, practice these on your own. You can look them up on page 92 and to decide and to know what it is that you're saying here if you don't recognize the words. Here we have excerpts from from the prayer books or for some well-known prayers. Again, I'll read them across. We'll go line for line here, even though there's only 2 prayers that are given here. We'll take it line for line, and I'll read them first and then stop the video, practice on your own, and we'll try and put them all together here. So let's start with line 1. We'll go all the way through. Sim Shalom, Sim Shalom, Tova, Tova, Uvracha, Uvracha, Chen, Vachesed, Vachesed, Verachamim, Verachamim, Aleinu, Aleinu, Ve'al, Kal, or Kol. This is an unusual one, but anyway. Yisrael, Amecha, Amecha, Bar barchenu, avinu, kulanu, ke'echad, beor, panecha, yit, now it's the end of the second one, yit barach, v'yishtabach, v'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar. Okay, so again, practice these, and just go with word for word. Don't worry about the flow of the prayer itself, but just take it word at a time and practice with what you've got there. Okay. All right. Line 3 or section 3, we have Shira, Chadasha, Shebechu, Geulim, Lishimcha, Al, Sifat, Hayam, Yachad, Kulam, Hodu, V'him lechu, V'amru. All right, so that's 3. Then section 4, V'koneh, hakol, V'zocher, chasdei, avot, umevi, goel, livnei, benehem, and 5, Vishamru, B'nei, Yisrael, Et HaShabbat, Okay, practice on your own. Now we're on exercise 7, page 77. Again, I'll read across and then stop the video. Practice on your own. Adama, ahava, emet, anachnu, at. Line 2, beracha, beterem, beli, barchu, bevayit, גאולה, גדלך, גדלך. And so we have 3 syllables, 3 vowels. Ge, vi, ya, gevia. Ge, nov, genov. Ga, mar, ti, gamarti. De, va, rim, devarim. Dar, ki, darki. De, vo, ra, devora, or Deborah. De, ra, sha, drasha. He, actually him, li, chu, him, li, chu. Ha, le, cha, halacha. Ha, li, chot, halichot, and ha, lom, halom. Last line. Ve, lech, ve, davar, vedavar, ve, lech, ve, elech, ve, ze, veze, ve, echad, ve, echad. Okay, so practice these on your own. Okay, line 7. Za, cha, ti, zacharti. Zilpa, zilpa. Zaman, zaman. Zedim, zedim. Zikena, zikena. Chadasha, chadasha. Actually, chet. These would go together. Chet. This would be silent. Cha, sa, dim, chasadim. Che, chev, li, chev, li, chevli. Chef, tzo, chefzo. Line 9. Tehora, tehora. Tamo, tamo. Taf, chem, tafchem. Tofele, tofele. And tov. Line 10. Yedaber, yedaber. Yaakov, Yaakov. Yisrael, Yisrael. Yehuda, Yehuda. Yitzchak, Yitzchak. Line 11. Ketavtem, ketavtem. Ka'asher, ka'asher. Ketuba, ketuba. Kohanim, kohanim. Line 12. Lifnei, lifnei. Lehadlich, lehadlik. Not guttural at the end. Lehadlik. levarech, levarech, leolam, leolam, vaed, vaed, leolam vaed, forever and ever. Okay, so practice these on your own. Okay, lines 13 through 18, page 78. Let's go through them. Ma'aseh, ma'aseh, mitzvah, mitzvah, mishpacha, mishpacha, me'odecha, me'odecha, ne'emar, ne'emar, ne'eman, ne'eman, neshama, neshama, neshama. Actually, neshama, I think would be the right way. Nevi'im, nevi'im. Naomi, Naomi, a name for Naomi. Naomi. 15. Salach, Tzifarim, Tzifarim, Sisera, Sisera, Sancheriv, Sancheriv, line 16, Elyon, Elyon, Aravim, Aravim, Avadim, Avadim, Ezra, Ezra, prophet. 17. Peri, Pene, Palishtim, Palishtim, Philistines, Palishtim. Pe'amim, Pe'amim. Line 18. Tzedakah, Tzedakah. Tzevaot, Tzevaot. Yatzitz, Yatzitz. Tzalmavet, Tzalmavet. Okay, practice on your own. All right, page 78, 19 through 25. I'll read them across and then practice on your own. Kid Shanu, Kidshanu. Kedusha, Kedusha. Kerovim, Kerovim. Kashto, Kashto. Line 20. Rachamim, Rachamim. Rivcha, Rivcha, Rebecca. Reshaim, Reshaim. Raglenu, Raglenu. Shomrei, Shomrei. Shvi, Shvi. Shechina, 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 the Shekinah. Shelcha, Shelcha. Okay. And just to point this out, line 21, Still across here. Shomerei. So again, if you said this Shomerei, which is I think what I actually did, or Shomerei, either one's going to come across as being understood. The grammatical rule, just so that you know, again, you don't have to remember it, but just so that you know. If there's a long vowel before the shava, then the shava is vocal. If there's a short vowel before the shava, such as here, then the shava is silent. So that's why this would be shomerei rather than shomrei. But when you hear it pronounced, you'll hear it both ways. So not a big deal, one way or the other. All right, line 22. Seraphim. Simcha. Sedei. Sonye. 23. Tiferet. Tehila. Talmud. Teshuva. Line 24. Adir. Boachem. Gomel. Ham. Well, okay, here's another grammatical rule. Because you have the two M's, you essentially have also two shavas. So the first one, ham, and the second one is vocal. So this would actually be pronounced ha me hamavorach. Again, you don't know that, you don't know the rules, doesn't matter. You could say ham vorach, hamavorach, either one, it'll be understood. All right, 25. Chelek, totafot, yitzir, kichlot, nakdish. Okay. All right. So practice again, and this is as your book said. Always make these silent if you don't know, and that's fine. But there are other rules that will come into play as to whether or not they're silent if they fall in the middle of the word as opposed to at the beginning or at the end. Okay? All right, let's continue on. So here's page 92. These are all the words that you would have picked up in that other exercise that we did, just reading across fairly quickly, going through it. We have menorah. We have a kippah or yarmulke. We have tefillin, which is the prayer boxes, if you will, on the arms and on the head. Talit, which is the prayer shawl. Shofar, which I'm sure you know what that means. Torah. Bima, which is the pulpit that you set the Torah scroll on, the bima. Siddur, which is the prayer book, means like Seder for Passover. It means an order of events or prayers. Siddur. A chazan is the cantor, the one who sings the melodies. Rav is rabbi. Ner tamid, Over the ark where the Torah scrolls are kept, there's an eternal light. There's a lamp that's left on all the time. It's called a Ner Tamid, eternal light. Aron HaKodesh is the ark that contains the Torah, again in synagogues at the front of the building. And you'll see a sort of a closet that has very ornate designs on it, and that is the Aron HaKodesh, the place where the Torah scrolls are kept. A yad, which means hand, is a pointer for the Torah. Bar mitzvah, you probably know, and bat mitzvah, you probably know. Because you can never have enough practice, here we go. Amad, Agag, Hadam, Adon, Achet, Chamor, Halom, Ale, Lereacha, Yaakov, Esh, Ta, Chaze, Esh Tachaze, Adon, and Asher. So again, practice those as you want. And more practice with the combination vowels. So here we have evil, edom, egos, echol, emor, yechezak, be'erot, yehemu, shehechazarta, emunatecha, be'emet, vehemida, ve'evir, elilim, hemadta, and yechetzu. Again, these are difficult ones. So if you're getting through these, then you're doing a great job. And if you're struggling with it, well, then you're just needing some more practice. That's all. But all of you, I'm sure, are doing very well. Just take your time, practice on your own till you're comfortable with them, and then we'll move on. So we've actually looked at this before, but just again as a reminder, sometimes the dot that goes above the letters for the sin and the shin, the sin and the shin, and the O vowel will sometimes do double duty. So you just have to kind of pay attention. If there's no vowel under the consonant here, then you know that vowel has to appear up here. And if that's the only dot, there's nothing over here, then that's going to be a shin along with the O vowel. So Moshe. Again, you'll get used to that as you see it. So that pretty much wraps it up. This is chapter 9. We still have one more chapter that we'll take a look at, but that deals with syllables. And again, it gets a little more complex in terms of the longer words. And I'll go through it. If you're at this point, I would say really what will be important now is to spend time reading Hebrew. There's no substitute for that. Just practice, 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 practice you can go through these exercises again, but mostly I would say go to Sefaria.org if you don't have a Hebrew Bible and begin reading Torah, begin reading Psalms, begin reading Proverbs, begin reading whatever it is you want to read in the Hebrew, and just play with it, just practice with it. That's going to be the best way. Now, I also put a link in here on this description page of the of someone reading the Torah. So if you want to hear the Torah being read, actually he reads the entire Tanakh, the entire Hebrew Bible, on the link that I will give you. But you can listen to it verse by verse or the whole thing. But it's a great site, and it's a great recording, because he really the person who reads it, I don't know his name offhand, but I think it's many decades old that this was done, but it's still one of the best circulating recordings of the Hebrew Bible around. So I'll leave you that link, and you can begin hearing someone else doing the vocalization of the Hebrew for the Torah, or wherever you want to begin listening to it. So that wraps up chapter 9. Like I say, we'll have chapter 10. I almost hesitate to do it, but I'll go ahead and put it up there, and you can go through it or not. But at this point, you've got everything you need to really go through and read the whatever it is you want to read in Hebrew. Again, read it, not understand it. Read it slowly, and there's nothing wrong with that. Remember, you're in the first grade. And I know when I used to listen to my grandson read in the first grade, it was very frustrating, because he's reading letter for letter for letter, and I want him to read words. Read the word. Can't you hear the word there? But no, he couldn't. He's learning letter by letter, and that's what we're learning in the Hebrew. Once you pick up a vocabulary, it'll get easier and easier to read. So, all right, we'll stop lesson 9 now. And again, thank you very much for sharing your time with me and for learning this important and powerful and wonderful language of Hashem. And we'll see you next time. Enjoy your day. Shalom.